should we discuss some nerdy news?
Yes, let's.
We've got lots of medium but sized bites this week, I think is the best way to describe it. Nothing
Yeah.
truly eye-watering, but lots of little tasty tidbits. It's a what do you call one of them trays? It's like it's one of them trays that goes around
Entree.
like finger food on it. Yeah. So first and foremost, yesterday or the day before, Ryan Reynolds announced on Twitter that Deadpool 3 has wrapped filming, so that they can be
Yes.
ready for their July 26th release date.
Yep.
I am weirdly anxious for this film.
Yeah, it's like there's kind of a lot riding on potential setup for the future of the MCU, and it's like,
I think there is a danger that they try and go too meta. And while Deadpool is inherently a very meta character, it's only funny when it's meta for stupid, pointless stuff and doesn't give a fuck about being meta when it matters.
yeah.
My hot take, it could be a bust. I think there is a just as good chance that this is an absolute bomb as it is that it's a success.
I think it'll be good overall. I think that my like prediction is there may be one too many jokes about X-Men Origins. Or like jokey reference to like, hey, haven't we met before? Sort of
Like,
thing.
just so we're clear here, the first Deadpool film came out 8 years ago. Yeah?
Yeah.
The second one came out in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
The world was vastly different then.
Yeah.
And what I mean to say is, the word woke was used, but it wasn't like this massive red flag waving ball that it is now. And the kind of people who went to see Deadpool were both people like me and you, who are very liberal and do your own thing, who gives a fuck, and also the edgy crowd who wants everything to be racist and out over the top. Let's just be completely clear.
Yeah.
Deadpool has this kind of ability to kind of pander to everyone, which is incredibly unique. But now, a moment in Deadpool 2, like finding out Negasonic Teenage Warhead is gay and meeting Yukio.
Yeah.
And him going, pump the hate brakes, I don't give a fuck, you're gay. I just wasn't expecting that kind of energy pairing, which is very funny to us because it's like, yeah, Wade doesn't give a fuck, love whoever you want.
Yeah.
The same people who claim they love the first two Deadpool films are going to show up to see this. There is going to be a joke similar to that or on that same kind of level. They were like, Disney have made Deadpool woke, and he's not changed at all.
True.
And the entire thing is going to stop being talking about the quality of the jokes and the humor and the action. And it's going to become another one of these bullshit arguments about, oh, everything's woke, everything's terrible, woe is me, let me be racist.
Do you know what I think, though? I think what will actually happen is they'll make one of those jokes, and then we'll get a fourth wall break of Deadpool going, now, before you all start going on Twitter and calling us woke, we were doing this in the first two films. Like, there'll be some meta joke there of him calling the people out for getting mad before they get mad.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I've got a real bad feeling that this film's going to be a bust. I think that style of humor has kind of faded away because I feel like Deadpool was such a success that what you had was a lot of people trying to replicate it.
Yeah,
and I think we might have now worn out because it's very specific style of humor that you don't want to watch. Like, no one wants every film to be like Deadpool, if that makes sense, because it's a style of film you can get bored of quite quickly. And I'm just hoping that I'm wrong. That's what I'm hoping I'm wrong. But
yeah, see, I think that stuff might be okay. I'm just more worried about, because we know this is them bringing it all into the MCU officially. I feel like there could be some fuck up there, maybe. We'll see.
We will have to wait and see. We've got a Invincible season 2 continuation
Part 2.
restart date. March 14th is when it's coming back.
Yep.
I wish they had just waited until it was all finished.
Yeah.
I wish they hadn't said it was good to go when it clearly wasn't.
It feels
and
like
released the first 4 or 5 episodes, whatever it was, and then paused again so they could finish the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'd rather they'd like waited another month or so. So then I'm fine with the idea of a gap, but it feels like this gap's been really long.
We finished before Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's coming back in March. That's not even like that's 2 separate seasons.
Yeah, that's like a good 3-month gap. Whereas like if it had been like a month and a half, it wouldn't felt so bad.
I think we were getting to a point in the season of maximum hype though, where you start getting more people to watch the show. And instead of being able to capitalize on that hype, they just went, fuck you, nothing for 3 months.
Yeah, that's what like the gap's been too long.
I'd rather they just waited.
Yeah.
It's not even like I was like, oh no, work them harder, get it out earlier. I'm not saying that at all. I'd rather they just waited.
Yeah.
I'd rather we hadn't had any of the episodes yet, and the announcement the other day was season 2 will be coming out, or the first episode will be coming out March 14th, and then we get an episode a week.
Do you think they were originally going to release later, but then with the strikes and like issues, they were like, oh well, we'll pull Invincible forward to fill a gap?
Maybe.
Or spread it out or something. I don't know. But yeah, I get what you mean though. It has felt like a very big gap between part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, it's a real rough one.
We're glad when it's back though.
Yes. In the ever-changing world of there being what feels like less and less studios and everything just being one giant either Disney or Apple subsidiary.
Yeah.
Paramount and Skydance are now discussing a potential merger. I'm sick of this. We are so late stage capitalism right now. Like our entire life has been playing games and consuming media of a cyberpunk dystopian where there are 4 companies.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally sit here watching it happen.
I feel
by the end
like
of our life, it is going to be literally Disney, Amazon, Apple, and then Japanese-based company like Mitsubishi or something. I don't know what the biggest Japanese company is at the minute.
Tencent.
I'm sick of it.
No,
Tencent. Yeah,
China.
Tencent.
That's China.
Well, Tencent will be one of them.
Yeah, but
no, Disney's going to fold into Apple. It'll be Apple, Amazon, Tencent, and then someone else.
Google. I feel like this comes from kind of the result of the streaming wars we've had for a while, where all these different streaming platforms trying to do their own content and be like, they're realizing they can't all individually succeed, so they're having to like merge because they're realizing, well, if we're together, we're a stronger platform than that studio on its own. And I also think it's partly economy. 2 companies merging into one is a stronger chance of making it through than 2 separate companies both making it through. So, but yeah, like you say, it's becoming a recurring thing now where they're all slowly condensing, and we'll probably get a thing where Paramount and Skydance merge, and then down the line that company then merges with one of the other ones that's merged, and we get essentially 4 studios in one.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another fucking crazy one. And this goes back to like the thing I've been saying I need to sit down and write a piece about for like the last 6 weeks now. And this is literally the epitome of it.
Kevin's clearly been watching.
Yeah, Kevin is a fan. Kevin knows. He's in my emails all the time. He needs to just grow a backbone and give me the check.
Pay you.
Reports suggesting Sony want MCU Spider-Man 4 to go bigger and bolder than No Way Home and potentially bring back Andrew and Toby again. While reportedly Tom Holland and Kevin Feige want to go to a more local and grounded story with lower stakes. So, as I've alluded to for the last few weeks, and I will put a full piece together on this, but I need to do a lot of research, and it's going to be a big bit and a lot of talking. But Spider-Man has always worked because he is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Yes, he has his parts to play in these big events, but he is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He teams up when he has to, but for the most part, he works alone. That's fine. Yes, that's just how he works.
Yeah.
And yes, it is okay for there to be big events where he fights the Sinister Six and stuff like that. But the problem you've got is Spider-Man is the most famous superhero in the world. Anyone who's about to comment Batman or Superman, you are brain dead. Use Google. Spider-Man has been bigger than them combined for the last 20 years non-stop. And as a result of that, there is so much money to be made from Spider-Man that he's not viewed as a TV asset because no one's willing to spend the money on a TV show to make it good enough. So what you get with instead is they have to make films.
Yep.
And then as a result of that, a film isn't going to be long enough to tell a proper Spider-Man story. So what you have to get instead is just these big event films. And then the big event films don't portray Spider-Man properly, which means it just feels like you're cashing in on the IP while not paying any actual attention to the IP. What Spider-Man really needs is the Daredevil treatment. He needs a 12 to 18 episode show with a crazy budget on Disney Plus where you let him be Spider-Man. And for every 2 seasons of that show that you get, then you do a film. And I know that it's a lot of money. I promise you, it will make up for it. The most popular Spider-Man media has been the animated Spider-Man TV shows. And why is that? Because Spider-Man works so much better in a fucking animated setting. And it's not because he's inherently an animated character. It's because the only way you get to tell proper Spider-Man stories is in a TV show.
Form,
and the only way you're going to do a TV show of Spider-Man that isn't stupidly budget is animated.
Yep. No, I get you. And
it's not complicated.
I think you're right. Like a low-key quality with like Daredevil sort of level of amount of episodes would be really good.
Give me 18 episodes of Spider-Man trying to take down fucking anyone. Hammerhead. Tombstone. Where he's like destructing an entire set up organized crime and he's trying to work out what's going on. We need it. We need it.
Also, the thing is though with this, like, it doesn't surprise me Sony wants a bigger and bolder film because one, they saw the money they made off No Way Home. Like,
No Way Home was the last film to make a fuck ton of money at the cinema.
Like they want that again. Also, we know Sony's building its own Spider-Verse that is trying to get like pulled in and wants pulled in, and it's like a bigger Spider-Man movie can help lean towards that, and they just want their films to mean more. And it's like knowing that we're meant to get like college era now, right? Of Tom Holland Spider-Man. Like, yeah, why? Like, I can see why Tom Holland and Feige want to move it more local and grounded.
I'm not saying that we have to try and recreate comics in other mediums. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is Spider-Man's been the most successful comic forever.
Yeah.
And the way comics work is they tell their arcs over 3 or 4 issues. Turn that into 3 or 4 episodes for an arc. Have a 12 episode series with 4 little mini arcs where he deals with a different villain for each of them. Do 2 seasons. Guess what? That's 6 villains. Guess what that then unlocks the ability to do? Very easily. A Sinister Six show. You've set up a Sinister Six film. You've set up everything. It's all good to go. There are very few Spider-Man stories off the top of my dome that are more film than TV. And basically all of them require TV before you could do the story anyway.
Yeah.
I was hearing rumors, granted this was a while ago, that Spider-Man 4 was apparently being pitched as Kraven's Last Hunt. We hadn't even had Kraven as a bad guy yet, and they were trying to jump to Kraven's big story. It makes no sense.
Well, if that was Sony pushing that idea.
But Kraven's Last Hunt is when Kraven's been hunting Spider-Man for like 20 years and
Yeah,
is
but
dying.
If Sony was pushing that idea, knowing they're making a Kraven film and being like, we can tie these together. Like I can see where that's come from, but like again, like you say, not a good idea. So I think the problem's going to be Sony wants a bigger film. If Marvel doesn't, Sony can very easily just turn around and go, "You're not using Spider-Man."
There is a big argument recently that Sony needs to keep the rights away from Disney no matter what, because Disney don't know what they're doing, or no, Disney aren't the bad guys here. You need to make sure and just go get the rights off Spider-Man. I don't give a fuck who owns the rights. I want someone who actually gives a fuck about the character and the fans who are going to try and tell a story that makes sense, instead of just trying cashing in on the name. I'm sick of it. You want to know why they're super FT? Because you're just trying to make $300 million films that make you $2 billion without thinking. Come on. These characters are iconic for a reason. Good news for the Daredevil Born Again TV show, though.
Yes.
Paul Price, who was a fan favourite, is reportedly going to be returning for 3 episodes. Again, a nice little 3-episode arc against an iconic villain. So that would be good news. It really seems like Disney got hold of whatever the Netflix's plan was for season 4, and they're just tweaking it slightly and running with it because, you know, Netflix did absolute peak with Daredevil.
Yeah, partly probably now they've got proper writers in the right places, and they're going, well, we know like Netflix one worked and everyone wants this, like we can come up with a way to continue that. So
exactly. We got a new trailer for the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender show.
Yes.
I'll be honest, I never really watched it.
I knew that was coming. So
I wasn't a big anime kid growing up. I mean, I'm still not a big anime guy now, but like I know a lot of people who like ended up being anime fans watch like Dragon Ball Z or Avatar: The Last Airbender. I never really watched. Like I saw bits and pieces, but I never watched it.
So I never finished it. I watched a good chunk of it, and it's one of the things that like I've forever meant to go back and like finish. The main takeaway I'm seeing is the fans of the animated show. We all had our gripe with the first attempt at a live action. It was very poorly done. People were very disappointed. From just this trailer alone, everyone's like, holy shit, this feels like they've got it right. So, like, with the way that characters look, the outfits, the visuals, the way they're doing bending, the just general vibe of the whole trailer feels like they've pretty much gone, not quite one for one, but like it's very much one for one. So fans are very happy. I'm very excited.
All I know is a long time ago, everything was peaceful, and then the Fire Nation attacked.
You know that's going to be a line in the opening. And
also, I believe the big fluffy thing that looks like a cow is called Appa.
Yeah.
Cool. That is my knowledge. I might give it a watch. I'll see.
I'll definitely be watching.
Reports are growing that Amazon Prime Video has struck a near $100 million deal with Mr. Beast to make a show. Reports are suggesting that he would release the first episode also on his YouTube channel, and then all the subsequent episodes would be on Prime Video. That is an ungodly amount of money. Because I'm willing to bet that 100 million isn't for the show. I think that's how much they're paying him to make the show.
Well, yeah, it's essentially like, it wouldn't surprise me if that's the budget they're giving him, and then he adds whatever he wants.
I don't think so. I think that's...
Is that just the rights to the show.
The way I take this is, here you go, Jimmy Beast. Here's 100 million. Now here's your budget to make a show for us.
Potentially. Or it's like, make a show, this is what we're going to pay you for that show. But
yeah. Still, even if he does 10 episodes and $100 million is how much he gets to make them 10 episodes, we know what he can do. Do you know what his biggest problem is going to be? Runtime.
Well, here's the thing. It's going to be a game show.
Yeah, but Prime don't want 10-minute episodes.
No.
I'm telling you right now, there is going to be, at the end of this, one of three things.
Mm-hmm.
No YouTuber is ever going to get a TV show deal ever again. Jimmy is going to say it was a horrible experience and he will never work with a TV company again because they were controlling the editing. Or the people that Prime Video are hoping are going to watch it are going to be like, why am I buying Prime Video to watch 10 5-minute episodes? Because they're going to let Jimmy completely control it. Jimmy makes stuff for YouTube and he is brilliant at that. He has mastered and gamed the algorithm to a way that no one else has. All respect to him. I'm not going to pretend I know YouTube better than him. What I will tell you is, I know a lot about the way this world works, even as an outsider. Prime don't want 10 YouTube length episodes. And I don't know if Jimmy knows how to make his content work in 30-minute episodes.
What if it's his show? I'm thinking he'll do some game show sort of competition. But what if it's actually, now he's gone this trend of, I went and built this many thousand wells, or I went and cured X amount of people's blindness. What if the show is, each episode is like them, but they basically just go a bit more in depth in what he's doing?
That is potentially the only way I see it working, if it's like a documentary style thing where they just follow him around.
Potentially. It's like, I don't know, 10 episodes and he does 10 like
but at the same time, are they paying anyone $100 million for like a documentary? Like, let's be clear here. I know he has transcended YouTube fame and he is like full on celebrity now. I get that. No one's paying $100 million for a documentary about a YouTuber. And I'm not even using YouTuber in like a derogatory way here. Mr. Beast will tell you himself he's a YouTuber. I'm curious about this show because it is like potential groundbreaking.
Yeah, it depends what it does.
I don't see how it works.
Yeah. Either that or he's going to come with some absolute nuts game show that it's going to, like, his ones where it's like 100 people, but it's like, I don't know, more than that. And it's just how long that game goes on for, like a week or something. Like, he can get enough out of it, maybe, but I don't know.
Bearing in mind that Jimmy's demographic is like 7 to 15-year-olds primarily.
Yeah.
Who are the TikTok generation, which is why like he's done his ad reads where it's cool stuff is happening while he does his ad read, so you don't just fast forward through the ad bit, and he doesn't let anything sit in. It's go, 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 which is why they're only 15 minutes long, because he's not going to risk losing retention like we do.
Yeah.
That same style of editing for a 30-minute show will give the kind of person who's going to sit down and watch Prime Video a fucking headache.
Here's the thing. Prime Video is obviously different format to YouTube, so we don't know that he, like, sure, he does his videos in that style because he knows how to game YouTube. He might like also understand how to game Prime Video.
I get what you're saying, but this is where like these other problems come in for me. So he either makes it work for TV, in which case it's not going to feel like a Mr. Beast video anymore. At which point, what are you paying for?
Oh, they're paying for him.
Or he does it in his style anyway. And then if you have to watch a Mr. Beast style video with the speed of it for 30 minutes, you're going to have a headache. I refuse to believe you are. No one is sitting down to watch 10, 30-minute episodes of Mr. Beast style editing and cutting all over the place without having a fucking migraine afterwards. I refuse to believe it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm really, really curious to see how this goes. I know I sound really I'm just genuinely curious to see how this ends up coming together because it seems like the perfect storm of wow, that was a terrible idea, but I'm also ready to be blown out of the water by a genius idea.
Yeah. And I also, how will it affect him doing his YouTube videos?
Mm-hmm.
Is the other thing. Like, is he end up?
Unless he goes, I know I can make these massive things for $1 million each. I'm doing 10 episodes. That's $10 million. That gives me 90 million to upscale my because he has essentially his own production company at this point. And he
In
just scales it up so that he's got enough people to handle stuff.
in before this is just a show that's going to be on his YouTube channel, but it's essentially just sponsored by Amazon Prime, and that's the sponsorship deal.
Well, it ends up flopping, so they just put it all on your YouTube channel.
Well, no, it's just like this is what this deal is he's going to make a show sponsored by Amazon Prime, slapped covered in Amazon Prime branding, but it's just on his YouTube.
I
It's like a
don't know if
sponsor deal.
anyone's paying $100 million for
I mean, Amazon's got
YouTube.
money to
I know.
throw around.
Anyway, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.